Well, everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey, everybody, Cantonese Cat here. Bitcoin. A lot of people are thinking Bitcoin lower. Thinking maybe 61,000, 63,000, or even 58,000, 49,000. A lot of people thinking that it has to grab additional liquidity down below before it goes higher. I'm going to try to make the case. I don't think so. I think this is I think a lot of the lows have already been in. You already had the lows around 49,000. You already had the low around 53,000. You're at the low around 59,000. There's not really any particular reason to kind of go back and back test a lot of these things. For example, we already bounced from the weekly Ichimoku around 53,000 here back in September. It already have flipped the weekly Ichimoku cloud from resistance over here to support. And this is generally a very, very bullish thing, right? It already broke back through about the Tenkan indication, the blue line and red line over here, back tested them both, passed. It looks like we're getting ready to run. I don't think it necessarily has come back and back test these things again. There's no guarantee that it's going to happen, right? Because you've already done the appropriate back testing. Fibonacci cloud on the weekly here, same thing. You flipped it from resistance here to support. Went through, broke down underneath of it a little bit, broke back up above, back tested the bottom, back tested the top. Looks like it's ready to run, right? Moving averages, you can look at the 20 and 50 week moving average. It's already back tested the 50, which is the blue line over here, and flipped it from resistance over here into support, right? So because of that, I don't see any particular reason as to why it has to keep on back testing it over and over again. If it does, it could be around like 58,000, right? Same thing if it back tests Ichimoku cloud, maybe around 59,000, 60,000, but I don't think it necessarily has to do that anymore. The 20-week moving average, which is labeled as orange over here, is coincidentally the part of the bull support band as well. And the bull support band has been flipped here from resistance back into support, turned from negative sloping to a little bit more positive sloping here, had a little bit of a bullish cross over here. Very, very similar morphology like it did in 2023 before a big giant run up, where everybody was just getting really, really extremely jaded by, around October, November time in 2023, right? Looks like we're getting kind of close to a very, very similar morphology over here. So there, based on moving averages, also think that we might be getting ready to run. There's not really any particular reason for it to have to come and back test the 20 again. You already had spent a significant amount of time flipping resistance to support, back tested it, and it looks like we might be getting ready to run, right? Same thing, no reason to really go back down to 50 anymore. He's already double tapped it. The other thing too, if you zoom out, look at the monthly, look at the Ichimoku, you already back tested the monthly Tenkan for 3 months in a row. And it looks like we passed. The Tenkan is very positively sloping, so it's probably going to end up pushing the bull market up a lot higher. Kind of like it did over here, kind of like it did over here. And I think it's probably just going to keep going higher from here on out. The other thing too, if you look at, again, chart that I've drawn, and also the Fibonacci level. Look at Fibonacci level, it came in back, it pushed through the 0.786. Initially got a little bit rejected over here, but pushed through the 0.786, back tested 0.786, and bounced. Usually these things are very, very bullish when you bounce with the 0.786. In general, you're talking about pushing into all-time highs, and when you're pushing the all-time highs, the next level that it could potentially gravitate to when it comes to Fibonacci level is $173,779. That's kind of usually what happens. Now, if I get rid of this Fibonacci here, and if I just look at the GAN level over here, and this GAN is drawn on the monthly here, the numbers I use, then you can do this on your own, 720 and 1,000. And if you do that, it gives you some pretty decent market symmetry. You can see that the arc here means something, the arcs here mean something, right? The arcs up here mean something, horizontal here means something, right? And right now, during the last bull cycle, we got rejected in the confluence zone around the arc and around the horizontal. And what have we done so far? In technical analysis, if you're able to flip any potential past resistance levels into support, generally is extremely bullish. We just flipped the arc over here from resistance here to support. We just flipped the horizontal, coincidentally flipped the horizontal over here from resistance over here to support, right? So the next level is going to gravitate to is going to be, 500,000? What? Nah. Stop it. Anyway, I think 173,000 is possible. Again, none of these things are guaranteed, because if you do a Fibonacci level, you can do it in two different ways. One way is you can do it with a log scale, which currently I'm in log scale, so that's going to be the natural Fibonacci levels, $173,779. You can also do it off of log scale, and this is a linear scale fib. Then it would hit potentially at the 1.618 and 2.618 levels over here around 102,000, 155,000, right? Maybe some of the higher levels up here too, 209,000. You know, I guess it's supposed to be entirely possible. But generally, I don't want to really underestimate something that has flipped an important resistance level from resistance to support, right? The other thing too that is really making me thinking that Bitcoin's going to go a lot higher is because MSTR had this breakout. When you have a leverage play for Bitcoin having a breakout, that generally means the underlying asset's probably going to have a breakout. Like these things are what whales are looking at. They wouldn't pump MSTR unless if they're pretty convinced that Bitcoin's probably going to run higher. If anything, they're front running the Bitcoin run. You already broke back pretty convincingly. Again, this month only has maybe like 2 more trading days or something like that. But you already broke through the 1.618 very convincingly. And it looks like it wants to run. You've already broke above the inside candles. You have like inside candles number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to this candle over here. The primary trend is up. So whenever this consolidation is done, most likely it's going to have some trend continuation. And currently it's having some trend continuation, which is to go up right here. So I think that MicroStrategy is telling us something here. And if you also can see on the 3-month chart, is flip different resistance here to support all these Tenkan and Kijun lines, right? You backtest the Tenkan Kijun twice with these two 3-month candles. So a lot of things are telling me that I think Bitcoin is ready to run higher. And I'm not sure. I mean, like, it can always come back test stuff, but I just don't know whether or not there's any necessary liquidity that is required for Bitcoin to have to do that. If you're also looking at a liquidation heat map, and this is done available on CoinGlass, it's a 1-year chart over here showing price action for the entire year, this past year. You're going to have these kind of heat maps here where once it gets to certain levels, they're labeled here either by green, which is light levels, or yellow, which are thicker levels. And I want to thank Critify Hub to really got me interested in this. You're really talking about the price in which certain leverage positions get liquidated. And you can entirely see why price is grabbing up here, and the next thing you know, trying to come back, grab liquidity down here at this particular level. There's liquidity down below, but not all liquidity has to be grabbed, right? But right now, grab liquidity at a very strong level over here, which, around like 49,000 or so, which caused a lot of liquidation here. And as it happened, right now, the majority of the liquidity is above. So if the market maker really wants to make the majority of money, they really want to push price above like 72,000, 73,000. That's really where liquidity is going to be at, not down here. It could potentially go back down here to like 63, 62, 61,000, 58,000 or so. But what's the point in that? They already came back and grabbed the liquidity, right? Majority of liquidity right now is up. Now, I can be completely wrong about this, but so far, I'm just not really seeing any particular evidence to convince me that Bitcoin has to go lower from here. I just laid out my cases. Now, if there's certainly a lot of things that could be looked at in terms of like open interest, in terms of like technical analysis, in terms of market psychology, you can look at all that. But I'm just showing you my indicators. I'm showing you my thoughts. I'm making the argument that I think that right now liquidity grab is to the upside, and that the downside for Bitcoin seem to be relatively limited. So just some thoughts, not absolute thoughts, but yeah, think about it. If you have anything to dispute, or if you have any alternative arguments, I would love to hear it. If you are saying no, and then just don't leave any reasoning behind, then I'm just gonna ignore you. But if you have any thoughts in terms of why this may not play out, I would love to hear it. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.